Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. Whew. Oh, it's been a storm for the past few days. Oh, that wind. I tell you, got to avoid that cold wind. You know, that storm, that rain, it pounds you. You in the midst of the storm, and that rain is just pounding at you. It is. And you are trying to seek some refuge from that cold biting wind, but it get at you. You try to block it. You try to block it. You try to dodge that wind, just like you try to dodge when you do somebody wrong, and you know that karma is gonna come back on you one way or another. You have your conscience eating away at you. You say that's your conscience. I'm tell you what it really is. It's your ancestral guides. They'll tell you, no, don't do that. No, don't get involved in that. No, don't go there. You'll say, I should have followed my first mind. No, that's your ancestral guides telling you the right thing to do, trying to guide you. But no, we get in the way. We raise up. We want to do this. I got this. No, I'm finna go do me. And doing you is messing you up, getting you all caught up in all kind of mess. And you need, when we say let go and let God, that's exactly what that means. Let go and allow the ancestral guides to guide you. However way you want to call it. You know, some people want to say, I let go and let Jesus take the wheel. Okay, well, let go and let him take the wheel. You know, because actually that's your ancestral guides that are guiding you. You know, it's African spirituality, and it's deep. It's pure. It's beautiful. It's wholesome. You know, just because it has to do with Africans don't mean it's evil. Don't make it bad, because we are not evil. We are not bad. You know, we are just under oppression, and we are rising from this oppression. And just like we melting off, from the ice, we've been frozen. We've been stuck in like ships and lost in uncharted waters who ain't got no sail. Well, you got a sail, open it back up and let God guide you. Let go and let God sit back and let Jesus take the wheel. You know, that's what you believe. Or sit back and let God take the wheel. Let your ancestral guides take the wheel. Because I'm going to tell you something. You know, they can sit there and say, well, I believe this and I believe that and this, that, and the other. But I can tell you one thing. We all got a heart, and we all know right from wrong. We all know when we doing evil, and we all know that we got to leave here. But one thing we all don't know is some soul catchers waiting, and there would be some tormented souls who would be condemned. I lived in a haunted house with tormented souls, with evil spirits who manifested themselves in front of me, who came through a spiritual warfare through my people, through my husband, who rose up in front of me and told me through my husband that I'm here to serve it. Turn my back on the Grow Program. Turn my back on what's helping me, what's helping other people. Because see, now I got my mind focused on the Lord all day, when I used to have my mind focused on chaos, negativity, and drama. See, I had to grow from that. I had to rise. I had to reach my greatness. And see, I have to keep growing, because if I stop growing, what's going to happen is I'm going to fall by the wayside. I'm going to get caught up in some kind of foolishness. I'm going to let some foolishness seep in. And I don't want no part of that. See, sometimes friends and family can be friends, family, and foolishness. See, because they like to get you caught up in all kind of drama. Call you up just to start talking about something, and then there you go saying, well, you done said something. It's a spiritual warfare that's going on. And we need to grow from this. Really, honestly, we are some grown people. And believe it or not, God has appointed ancestral guides that are watching us, that are looking at us and what we are doing and how we are doing one another. This is African spirituality, and it was going on in Africa before colonization. Africans are spiritual. We are not bound under religious law. We're a spiritual people. And so, um, I'm going to tell you something. Religion is oppression. It really is. Religion is a form of oppression. To have someone tell you, well, you do this and you got to do that, and this is it's either my way or the highway. You got to go by what this say. See what you do. Whatever you believe, you take your doctrine and teaching, you apply it to your life in righteousness, and you walk on your spiritual walk with God. You forgive, including yourself, because if you hold on to that old grudge and payback and all this, that, and the other, if you hold on to that, then you will not reach your greatness in God. You won't. It'll hinder you. It'll hold you back. It'll hold you back from your blessings. It'll hold you back from your glory. It'll hold you back from wisdom. Listen, being able to hear God. See, how you gonna hear God if you steady putting foolishness in your head? If you steady got the TV up loud, you can't hear God through that. You need to be able to quietly focus and meditate so you can hear a word from God. It don't mean you got to get down on your knees and be down there for hours and hours. I can't get on my knees. It's been years since I got on my knees. I get down there, but it's hard getting back up and down like that. I got a bad back. So I sit and I meditate. I look out the window. I find something to meditate on. Sometimes I close my eyes. Sometimes I meditate to African drums. African drum music is some beautiful music. It really is. Sometimes I want to get some put on the podcast. I love it. And I want to shout out to you, Georgia. Georgia, you're on my mind. You are on my mind. Texas, you're on my mind. The hate, it has to end. But it has to start at the top. It has to start with the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to end hate speech. They have to stop hate speech. They have to say, we are going to, it is nobody's right to stand here and say that nobody belongs here, as far as saying you white supremacy, because we all got to come and do things decent and in order, yes. But, at the same time, you're not supreme over anybody. Nobody's supreme over nobody. We one nation under God. We trying to come together in love. We trying to grow in love. We know the history. We know how things went. But they been believing a lie, a 400-year-old lie about white supremacy. And white is a color, so black is a color. We are not the definition of black. We are beautiful. We are royal, elegant. And we are a rose growing in God's garden, unique, beautiful, and special. And I love you. So I want my people to rise. I'm telling you, I want you to rise because I want you to know who you were before your ancestors were kidnapped and brought over here. You were descendants of royalty. But see what done happened is we Africans were shipped here, there, and everywhere through the transatlantic slave trade and made to believe that they were animals. Came from animals and nothing but animals. And 3/5 of a human, and part this or part that, and we are not. Only because we were made to be slave. We're forced to be slaves. So if you force somebody to be a slave, you say that's my property. So then that's my animal. That's this, that's that, and the other. But we are on a mission now. It's not us versus them. Africans have touched too many lives. We have been too many places. But the thing of it is now is we have to be recognized, for our true contributions. We have to rise from the oppression. We have to realize that we are better than what we have became. We have to realize that we are here as God's servant to lift one another up as a race, as a brother and sister, as fellow kings and queens, as great mountains trying to reach their greatness in God, deeply planted in God and branching up to reach our greatness in God, steady growing in God every day, which is love. God is love. God commands us to love. We have to forgive. You have to let go of that stuff, because if you don't let go of it, it's going to hold you back. It's going to hold you down from reaching your greatness. And Dr. King said, love drives out hate. So you have to remember that message. Love drives out hate. Love will keep driving out the hate, and it's gonna drive the hate on out of there, or God and the beloved ancestors are gonna move you out of there, get you out of the situation, out of the chaos, negativity, and drama that will eventually suck you up into a spiritual warfare and pull you on down in the midst of it, down in the center of it to ground zero, where you don't want to be, off somewhere where you really don't want to be, sitting off in the quiet place. Lord, how did I get here? Get me out of it now. But you were already a ship lost in uncharted waters, headed down that direction, and you needed to grow. You needed to turn around, come back, and start growing, branching right in the Lord. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We are getting ready to rise over the oppression that has came down from our ancestors through slavery. And it not only has affected us as an African race, but it has affected other minorities, as well as the Caucasian race. Because from the time that the slaves took off running, there have been Caucasian people who have helped, who have spoke out, who have tried to make a difference, who were there during the marches, who were meeting with Dr. King, who was sympathizing, who tried to be there. So see, now we are not us versus them, and another thing that you need to realize during the spiritual warfare is that evil is not racist. It's Dr. King, it is racist is a form, evil is a form of racism or whatever. Racism is a form of evil. Yes, it is. But we have descended to the point where evil is not racist. It's a spiritual warfare that goes through people. It can go through anyone. You be like, what? Why do they turn on me why they do me like that? Why they hurt me like that? And I mean, destroy marriages, destroy friendships, destroy anything, but what we have to do, we have to grow from this oppression. We have to forgive. Like I told you, don't necessarily mean you got to steady keep going back and getting burnt. You leave people alone until they begin to grow. Then that's up to you on your spiritual journey, your holistic walk with God, whether you decide if you want to go back there or not. It's up to you, between you and God and you and that person, but you have to forgive. You got to begin to move forward. I have an episode titled The Big Payback. I got a whole lot of episodes, 200 some episodes. It's a lot of them, because some days I was really, really pushed to make 3 and 4 and 5 episodes. And I mean, because I was really truly moved by the spirits, and always am. Before I begin to make an episode, I begin to meditate and go in kind of a shutdown mode. And then sometimes the Queen comes and speaks through me. That's African spirituality. She speaks through me, but she's teaching a message of love. That's what the freedom fighters were teaching before, is a message of love. Even through the songs, they tried to teach us. They tried to tell us how to act right, how to do right. Start doing better, start thinking better, start acting better. Try to grow from it, try to learn from it, try to rise from it. And even then they was telling us to try to rise, try to do, come on, what we doing to one another. So here we are now, here we are again, but this time we growing, we reaching our greatness. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom all over the world. God bless you. Let's rise.